We're live.
Right. Hi, guys. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Welcome to the Making the Shift group. Thank you for joining us. This is our collaborative team for Making the Shift. And we're excited to do our first show or our first episode or our first live, whatever you want to call it. I'm Monique Holloway. I'm going to kind of moderate a little bit, but I'm 18-year educator. I'm a wife, a mother of two. I've been at Destiny Center for about 17 to 18 years. And one of the reasons we're having this call is because I felt that parents needed to hear more about shifting now that a lot of the kids weren't in school. So that's why I joined this team, and I'm going to let someone else discuss why we are starting this team and why it's so important to us. Ashia.
Okay, so so the reason I'm Ashia, and I am a pharmacist turned healthcare marketer and content creator. And so the reason that I became a part of this group is I've actually been working from home for quite some time, but still having to shift. I have got my headphones on because other household members are also working from home. And so we're trying to figure out how to be together, but still have our own individual spaces, and just excited I've been through so many transitions in my life in general. Excited to share some of the things that I've learned and then just continue to grow as well.
Okay, Ashley.
I'm Ashley. I've been a member of Destiny Center for, I think, 9 years. And I wanted to join the group because I like helping out with social media stuff. And so I wanted to help out.
Sheila Michie.
Oh, they're having a trouble streaming it to Facebook.
Oh, no.
Okay, but it's okay because we're still taping. So this is great. We're still taping, and so we can post it later if we have to. But the reason that I joined is because I was constantly having to make a shift. I do real estate, I do ministry stuff, and having to make that adjustment of coming home. And wanted to join and talk to other people about what they were doing when they made the shift.
Great. Okay, so we're going to start with you, Ashia. Can you just explain to us what making the shift is and how this whole group came together?
Yeah, so Making the Shift is a collaborative effort where we are helping people to shift in multiple areas. So some people, once the whole coronavirus pandemic came to be, some people were already shifting because it was towards the beginning of the year and they had set some goals. And then other people were being forced to shift because the entire world was shifting. And so this group is about helping people shift in whatever area they're shifting in. So some people may be shifting from a traditional corporate environment to working from home. Others may be shifting from having school-age children in school to now homeschooling, or shifting from having a job to not having a job. So now you're in a job search, or shifting from needing to realize that you need to obtain more skills. So you may be shifting back into school or education. I mean, there's just so many different ways you may be shifting your budgets, whatever that looks like. And so the point of this group was to give people a safe space to shift in and to be able to shift with other people. Because when it comes to transition, unfortunately, sometimes it's easy to feel like you're the only one transitioning, and it can be a very lonely process. But we wanted people to be able to know that other people were shifting and to have the resources that they needed to shift, then to also share their experiences, their stories, things that they're doing where they've seen some success as well. So that's the purpose of this group.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of go away from my questions for a minute. Can we all kind of share where we've had to shift? Like, Sheila, can you give like some specific, you kind of started us in this conversation. Can you kind of talk about what you had to do to shift and what results you've seen from that?
Well, when I had to shift, I had to bring my whole computer home. I have a computer at the church office. I had to bring it home. So I set up my office. I have my church computer. I have my personal computer that I do my podcast from. And so I had to shift my whole entire office. Well, it was Andrew's office, but now it's my office. And he had to shift upstairs because he never stopped working. So I had to get on his schedule because sometimes he worked nights, sometimes he works days, and we had to make that adjustment being home. And so, as you know, Mel, we talk quite often, and we have Ministry Monday, Real Estate Tuesday, Ministry Wednesday. I'm having to go back and forth, and sometimes, like Tuesday, is a very heavy day for me, so I flip flap all day. I start off with ministry, with prayer, and then mid morning I go real estate. Then mid afternoon I go back to ministry, and I have to do that all day. And it was not as challenging for me. It was easier because I was able to bring everything into one space versus having to get up and go to a church office and then go to a real estate office. So for me, I loved the shift. For me, it was good.
Yeah. Ashley, what about you? What did you have to shift?
Well, I am a college professor at the local university here, and so everything, of course, once we went to spring break, we never went back to campus. So everything had to go virtual to virtual learning. And so they extended our spring break, so it gave us a little bit more time to get everything together. But teaching from home, which was very interesting, and it was kind of a little rocky, maybe like the first week. But after both students and teachers started getting used to it, it became better. And so I'm used to being at home pretty often, or, for the most part, except for when I'm teaching. So having to get used to teaching at home while kids are at home, was very interesting. Definitely had some run-ins on a few lessons. But it ended up it worked out really well. Ended up being able to end the semester really strong. And as far as being a performer, pretty much all gigs were canceled worldwide, pretty much. So just having to shift your focus from more performing and getting gigs. I would spend a lot of time emailing, trying to find gigs and da 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 da. So having to shift all of that to other areas of the arts and like more social media and etc. So that's kind of where I had to shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to shift, and I actually became a professor in the middle of the pandemic, and so I added on a lot of responsibilities, and so shifting, working multiple jobs within one day, and really blocking my schedule. So whereas I was able to somewhat have an organized schedule but still flexibility, I'm a lover of flexibility, so I don't like to feel too boxed in. I had to really box myself in a lot more and say, no, from this time to this time is when you're going to do this, from this time to this time, and just really get more organized with my time, with my thoughts, with my space. And even with my sister, who we live together, shifting from working from home. So I'm at my desk, and about maybe 10 feet away, she's at the dining room table. And we both have set up our own separate offices and just tried to be as quiet. I'm as quiet as possible here in my space, and she's as quiet as possible, even though it's the same air and it's the same space. So just really trying to figure out how to make it all work, shifting in multiple areas.
Yeah. Same here. I came home, they extended our spring break. So I'm a teacher, and my kids were home with me, and I released a project. So trying to get everything done with my book project. And that was kind of a just get it done type of thing. But my kids were here. My daughter's 3. So, I'm like, Mikey, she's locked in the room as we speak so that she doesn't come out and totally interrupt. I actually put some clothes on her and did her hair just in case he came and interrupted me. So that was a big challenge for me. My husband is in and out. And so you hear doors closing. So I had to shift in that way as well. And even being even more organized, because I do tutor. I still was working from home. I was tutoring. I was making sure my kids, they had their own individual Zoom calls, even my 3-year-old. So making sure I had a schedule for each one of them every single day, teaching them new technology. Like teaching my son how to get on your Facebook. How to get on he did Google, what was it called? Google. He had a Google group he had to do, and he had a Zoom group that he had to participate in. And then my daughter's teacher called every single day, and we had a group. So just trying to figure out how to schedule those things. and, Zoom after Zoom with ministry. So it has become a lot easier, but it was definitely trying to maneuver daily, making sure that everything was accomplished. So that's kind of how we shift. Ashley, can you talk about the content they'll find on Making the Shift group, in the Making the Shift group?
Yeah, first, when you go in the group, sorry, I'm going to pull up the list. When you go in the group, when you scroll down just a little bit, you'll be able to see popular topics. And so if you know that you are really maybe you're just looking for what to do with your kids at home, or home life tips, or entrepreneurship or business, you can click on one of those topics and you can see all of the things that we've posted that are about that topic. So if you don't want to have to scroll through everything, you can. You don't have to. But the topics include working from home, homeschooling, communicating effectively, business and entrepreneurship, home life, finances, and there's a quarantine reading list, jobs, and exercise. So that's pretty much what you'll be able to find in this group. And if you have anything that you're looking for, feel free to put that in any of the comments. If you're like, man, I'm having trouble with this, or man, I'm having trouble with that, then feel free to put it in the comments, because we look at those and we use those to guide what we put in.
This just brought up, Ashia, can you share what you talked about the Harvard and one of the posts we put in about Harvard and
Yeah. So Coursera, so like course and then RA at the end, Coursera.com has partnered with multiple Ivy League schools and other top universities to offer free classes and training on a variety of topics. So if you want to take any of those classes, then you can, and we put the link in the group, but you can go in there, search for whatever you're looking for. And then also, if you want to obtain a certificate, you can do that for a small fee. And that certificate will show, like, for example, one of the classes that I've taken about clinical trials interpretation from Johns Hopkins. So my certificate will say that it came from Johns Hopkins, and then I can post that and make it a part of my LinkedIn profile, or it becomes now a part of my professional continuing education. But they have classes from marketing to writing to healthcare to teaching, music. I mean, just the gamut, from Stanford, Harvard, Yale. All of the top institutions have education on there, and then most of it is at your own pace. So each course, a lot of times, is only maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and then you can take it at your own pace online. You do have assignments that you have to complete, but it's just a way to continue your learning during this time. And normally you would have to pay, but because of the coronavirus and they understand so many people are looking for education, then they've made all of the classes free, and you can take advantage of that.
That's awesome. Awesome. So Sheila, how can they find our information? How can they find this content? How can they connect to us? And if you could you chime in a little bit about technology, just because I know you work a lot with communicating things to our members at our church and communicating with your business. But what are some technologies that they can put in place to help during this time?
Okay, the way they can find is go to our Facebook page and like our Facebook page, Destiny Center TN, and also join the Making the Shift group. That's as simple as that. You find the post in there, you'll be able to click on join our lives, join our streams. That's one way you can do it. One thing about technology that I found during this time, I am on more Zooms than anybody I know. And I've been doing a lot of research on it, because they were when I first had to make that shift, I didn't know what was happening to me physically, and they did some studies on this, and they call it Zoom brain. And what was happening is that we had to use a different sense that we weren't used to using. We had to use different senses. Meaning, when I'm in a room with you, I can read your body language. But when I'm on the phone or I'm on the Zoom call, it's hard for me to look at all three of you, and try to read your body language. I can't tell what you're doing with your hands. I can't tell what you're doing with your feet. And so I had to use a different sense. So I tell people to be aware of that when you're doing that. And it's the more you go live and not hide yourself, hide your picture, you start to adjust to that and it becomes easier and easier. Another thing is be presentable. I mean, I always say that be presentable. Just comb your hair. I don't care if you have to just pull it back in a ponytail, do something so that you can get used to doing that, because this is the space we're in and it's not going away. It's our new normal. I don't even call it a new normal. It's just another change. We went through the industrial age. Guess what? Now we're in the technology age, and this is where we are. And so I always say, try to figure it out. And what I mean by that, do your research. I mean, we're trying to figure out StreamYard today. This is going to be interesting when I find out why I didn't post live and why I had to post it after the fact. But I don't let it stop me and say I won't ever do it again. I can get back up there. I try to figure it out. If I don't know, I'll research it. I'll call somebody. I don't have a problem with doing that. So whatever technology works for you, we have Zoom, we have Facebook Live, you got Instagram Live, you have all kinds of things that you can use. And if you don't know, just ask somebody. Call me. I can tell you.
Any other last remarks, ladies? Anything you want to share? Just as our introduction, this is more of our introduction live. So anything else you want to share or feel pertinent to share?
If they have some topics, and one thing I'll share is if they have some topics, I think someone already addressed it, but to put it in a group and let us know, because there may be some other things that people are adjusting to. We've touched on it a little bit, but I think we need to touch on adjusting as a single person by themselves. We need to deal with that loneliness. Adjusting with married couples, whether they have children or don't have children. How is it working in that space together? Adjusting to your neighbors, adjusting to whatever. So just making sure that people put that in there.
I even thought about, sorry about that, Sheila. I even thought about adjusting back. Like now that we're transitioning back into whatever this is going to be, this next space, what does that look like? Because businesses are opening up. Are we wearing masks? Are we wearing gloves? Are we wearing, we don't know. So I think that's something else, ladies, at some point we can kind of start adding, because that is another shift or pivot or whatever you want to call it. So that's all I have. If you don't have anything else, please join us again. Sheila, can you tell us where to join us again?
Join us on our Facebook page at Destiny Center TN. All they have to do is go to our Facebook, like our church Facebook page, and find the group Making the Shift, and they can join us there.
All right.
And then can I say too, and then let us know if the content in the group is helping you. So even though you may be visiting the page, be sure that you like the post if you like it, or comment so that we know exactly how it's helping you. Maybe if there's some subject that you like a little more, just so that we can continue to tailor the content to what you need. Give us feedback on how it's helping.
Okay. That's all I have, ladies. All right. Thanks for visiting. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.